This episode of Off the Clock is brought to you by Superpath.
All right, cheers. Welcome to Off the Clock. Great, we've got a spill right off the bat.
I ruined the mic.
Perfect. So we have a special edition today of Off the Clock, and rather than getting into our intros, I feel like people know who we are now, right?
Yeah, should.
I think we should jump right in to our first topic today, which is I want to talk about morning routines, because online all I see is people talking about morning routines, and do I need to have one? Is it important?
What is yours right now?
I want to go last. I feel like mine is so disappointing. I'm like so embarrassed.
Though, right?
Yeah. You guys go first. Somebody else go first.
Okay. The point is I don't have one.
Okay.
But like, so my husband is a teacher and he very different lifestyle in the summer versus in the school year. So like this summer he's wrapping up summer right now, more relaxed. So I tend to like wake up later.
What's later? Define
like
later.
7.
Oh my God. Come on.
During the school year, we both wake up at like 6.
Okay.
But I'm 100% a morning person. So like I'm not super methodical with my morning routine. I just like to have like space. Like I like to wake up early so I don't feel rushed. I'm not really a morning exerciser, but I do respect people that do that.
Yeah. Yes, so much respect.
I feel like it should just be whatever works for you.
I know, but you go on Twitter and it's like all the think boys are like, oh, you got to do a cold plunge. You got to
at 5
have
a.m.
have your bulletproof coffee. Like, I mean, I just feel like I'm missing something. So I wanted to hear what yours looked like.
I feel that way too. Like
is there like actual science behind any of that stuff, or was it somebody
I doubt it.
important just said that you should wake up at 5 a.m. and then
I mean, there's all the gazillionaires that are like, I wake up at 4 a.m. and then I do this and then I do this.
Right. I do the sauna. I do yes, I meditate. I do all the things. So basically you've run a marathon before you even sat down and start working for the day.
Yeah.
I think it's all about setting yourself up for like what you need to get done. And if it's like waking up later, like getting your rest, I don't know. I just don't think it's like.
Do you have anything you like do for sure every morning though? Like, do you drink coffee every morning?
Yeah, I make coffee. I make breakfast. I'm usually not hungry, but like I do personally think breakfast works for me, so I try to make that happen. I like to read in the morning, usually something not related to work.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good way to ease into things.
Yeah. What about you all?
I am also a morning person.
Yeah.
I am up usually around 6:30. Even on the weekends, I usually pop up. And yeah, just like hang out with my dog for 2 hours.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. We just like go on little drives, listen to podcasts, go get my morning Diet Coke. He gets his treat from the McDonald's lady.
Shout out to McDonald's.
Shout out.
You're like,
We're sponsored by McDonald's.
Officially not sponsored by, but we would love that.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Holler at us. I'm sure they need the help. They need
for help.
The promo.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have a lot of that.
But yeah, I just kind of either take him on a walk and listen to podcasts or music, or we just kind of drive around and just, I don't know. I miss having that kind of commute to start your day, or like it signals the start of your day. And so I feel like that takes the place of that for me.
Yeah. I'm curious for you, has it changed since you went from working like a more traditional job to doing more of your own thing? And I know that you're remote too, but I feel like you have a little bit more structure in your work day of like people expect you to be online for certain hours.
For sure.
So a couple things, like my whole career has been remote. So I've never had like the sensation of a
like never, not once.
I've never gone into an office.
Wow, I thought maybe GE or something.
I guess but
that was
feels
long,
like a whole other lifetime.
Yeah,
I only worked there for like 5 to 6 months, so I guess that I did have a commute, but I was like 22.
Okay.
So I guess for like the majority of my career in like what I'm doing now, I'm just so accustomed to like work from home. For me, I have to break up my day at the end, so that's why I work out at the end of the day, because I need like this. Like you need to get out from behind your computer.
Yes.
But no, I guess like with Omniscient, I still like I have like 7 direct reports. Like I have a lot of people that do expect me to be online. So the accountability is still there, even though I like own my own business now. But I guess it is a little bit different because it's my thing. So I could just
you
do
get to
whatever I
call
wanted to. But
shots.
I know it works for me. If I log on anytime after like 8:30, then I'm like, I feel like I'm behind.
Speaking of 8:30, speaking of 8:30,
Segue.
I have slowly started to wake up later and later to where I'm like, my alarm clock goes off at 7:20. All right, it goes off at 7:20, and I turn it off, and then I will lay there and look at my phone for like 40 minutes. Sometimes I'll fall back
Doesn't your
asleep.
alarm keep going off like every 9 minutes?
No, snooze.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. No.
Gotcha.
So I just turn it off. And then I lay there with the dog for a while. I look at my phone or I fall back asleep. Usually around 8:45, 9 o'clock, I'm rolling out of bed. And that's makes me feel bad about myself because
Why?
on one hand, it's wonderful, right? Because I'm sleeping in, I'm living my best life. That's so great. On the other hand, like, shouldn't I be up and working? Like, half the day is gone now.
At 8:30?
It feels like it.
No.
Because then I sit down. By the time so I roll out of bed at 9 o'clock and I go straight to my email after I have my coffee. But I just like kind of tumble into the day every day. And I feel like when I first started 10 years ago, I was so used to being in the office at 7:30 that at 7:30, I'd get up and I'd be in my desk chair. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then I would just kind of like sit there and wait for emails to come in.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I doing this? This
Right.
is stupid. And I hate mornings. Especially in the winter because it's dark and it's cold and like, what's the point, you know? So yeah, I would love to be a morning routine person, but I'm not.
I don't appreciate how all of like the chatter about it makes you like people like you feel that way.
Yeah,
You
it
don't have
sucks.
to feel like that.
Because you're
It really
acting like you
sucks.
wake up at 1 p.m. or something.
But like,
Like,
clearly
8:30
like
is
you're
still
very
very normal.
successful. Like you're very happy with your career. Like I think social media in general has definitely become this like shoulda, coulda, woulda sensation.
Yeah,
of,
it gives you
like,
that feeling of
if
like,
only you did these 17
oh, I
steps
could be doing
in the
so
morning.
much better.
And I just think it's over engineered. Like
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman obviously knows what he's talking about, but like literally he came up with this thing called like forward ambulation. It's a morning walk. Why does it need to be called anything but a morning walk?
Sounds
my
so
gosh.
fancy.
So it's like, do we need more
Sounds so
terminology for
official.
things that like you could or could not do? Like I think it all comes down to like if it works for you,
yeah,
it works for you.
that's so true. I think that's probably just social media as a whole, right? Like it's there to make
Oh,
you feel bad about
100%
yourself.
engagement.
So it's working.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Have all of you seen Barbie now? We need to talk about Barbie.
I have seen Barbie, yes.
Sorry.
What have you heard about Barbie?
I've heard it's amazing. Like I
Right.
definitely want to see it. I
Yeah.
just haven't had a good time to go to the theater, and I feel like it's one of those movies that you want to see in theater. I've been reading that it might be released on HBO Max, but I wanted to go see it in that experience, but I just haven't had time. But I was like in love with the marketing strategy. Like
They
I
spent
was
so much
obsessed
money.
with
I
seeing it
know.
all over the
It went
place.
on
Like I remember seeing the
forever.
Progressive commercial and being like, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in that marketing meeting. Like who thought of putting a Barbie dream house in a Progressive, like brilliant.
So smart.
So cool.
They did so many cool things. And also like hats off to Barbie / Greta Gerwig, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, all of these women just making the economy thrive this summer. You're welcome.
I know, it's
everyone.
pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like, I think I remember hearing that at the end of the first U.S. leg of Taylor Swift's Eras tour, that the tour would have stimulated the local economies like $2 billion or something, like $2
Wow.
billion towards.
No big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And then I think it's going to make her a billionaire too by the time she's done with the full tour, which is crazy. But yeah.
It was so cool how she tipped like all those truck drivers and everything.
Yeah.
100K. How, like a 50,
know.
100,000.
I think it was
check.
100,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
And then did I go to the Eras tour? Yes.
Where?
I went in Houston back in April.
Okay.
But I am going to try to go again.
Because they just released new dates, right?
Yeah, for next year.
Oh my
so
God.
So where do you
We'll
think
see.
you'll go?
Maybe New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
That'll be
also
cool.
am going to try for Toronto, I think. So we shall see.
Why Toronto specifically?
Well, there are only like 4 places she's going.
Oh,
So yeah. But anyway.
options are
That's cool.
limited.
Yeah. I feel like we're
Nice.
going off on a tangent about my Taylor Swift plans, but
That's fine. That's fine.
I actually have a whole segment dedicated to you.
But yeah, and then Greta Gerwig, what was like Barbie's the first movie for a female director to do over
A lot.
however many billions.
A lot of
yeah,
dollars.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. Women are having a comeback this summer. Who knew?
It's just crazy because, yes, they spent a lot on that marketing, but clearly it worked.
Right.
So I just don't understand why
Are people
more
saying
movies.
stuff about like they spent too much on marketing?
Oh, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where they're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is
or like
just
must be
But
nice.
Barbie
Over
is
the
like a
top.
whole subculture. Like I had a gazillion Barbies.
Okay, but wait a second, because now I've heard that there's talks of like a whole new universe of like Mattel, of like Polly Pocket movie, and I'm just like, I don't think they have the cultural cachet of Barbie. I don't think it's gonna
No.
track for people.
It
They've
might be the
already,
next, like,
I think
Avengers.
they've already greenlit the Polly Pocket because I think Lena Dunham is directing.
I think yes, I heard that.
And they've already, I forget who they cast as Polly Pocket, but they've already got like the person cast.
I had a Polly Pocket, and like I don't even know if I care about that.
No, it's not the same as Barbie.
There's
There
just
were
not
so many
the
components. Like I haven't even seen it, and I feel like Margot Robbie paired with Greta Gerwig paired with the timing of the release. Like I feel like Barbie definitely was fading a bit. I think the filming and the release was very strategic to like revive
yeah.
the subculture, revive the brand. But there were so many components of the movie that I feel like all worked very well together to make it so successful. And I feel like if they go down that Mattel path, it's like you're just gonna be riding the coattails a bit. I don't think it's gonna
Yeah,
have that
it's
same
not the same.
independent resurgence that Barbie
Yeah.
seemed to.
I know.
And I think this whole like Barbenheimer like thing that happened made it even that much bigger, because one thing I heard was that people who went to see Barbie, so Warner Brothers was the director of Oppenheimer's old company, and so then he went with a different production company for this new one, and so the two studios went head to head on this weekend, releasing those movies at the same time on purpose to kind of spite each other. I don't know if this is true.
But it probably ended up helping each other.
Oh,
It
for
did,
sure.
because people who couldn't get into Barbie would go see Oppenheimer because they were like, oh, Barbenheimer, like I'll just go see the other half.
Yeah.
And so they kind of fed each other, which I think is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've wanted to go to the theaters to see one movie, much less two.
Yeah.
And I feel like Oppenheimer, definitely with the way that it was shot, like with that, how it was designed to be viewed in a certain type of screen, like you obviously want to see that in theaters. It'd still be great at home,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also heard a lot of people saying that the whole Barbenheimer thing, basically, like, obviously people would have gone to see Oppenheimer regardless, but it brought a whole new audience to go see it because people wanted to like commit to the bit and
Right,
do the
of
Barbenheimer
course.
thing. Yeah,
That makes sense.
Did you see both?
I
Same
did.
day?
Not the same day. I think it was the same weekend though.
Which one did you
It
see
was.
first?
I saw Barbie first, and I liked both of them. I think I liked Barbie better just because I like Christopher Nolan's movies so much, but I really love his original like screenplays and things like that. And this was very good, but it was so heavy.
Yeah.
It was so heavy. And I mean, it should be. It's obviously like very heavy subject matter, but yeah, I just thought that was such an interesting, weird thing that happened this summer. What other things are happening in the world that you guys are thinking about or curious about?
What was the thing that I saw on Instagram the other day about the galaxy shaped like a question mark?
Yes. I don't know why it was. I think it's two intertwined galaxies or
Yes,
something,
it
and they're
was-
pulling
okay,
at each
so
other.
they saw it through the James Webb telescope.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
That is, yes.
Yes, and so it's a true question mark. But yeah, I think it's what it is it's two galaxies that are starting to merge, and
Pretty cool.
whatever that means. But yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of the meteor shower right now,
Oh, yeah?
which is very exciting. That's happening. I think it's peak this weekend right now.
Okay.
So if you're in a city, you probably have a hard time seeing it. But if you're somewhere really dark, like where I live, that's not a city, which we're going to talk about that later. But that's pretty cool. And then there's also the Artemis mission, which I think is the first manned space trip to the moon in a really long time. I don't know how many years, but gearing up for that. I think they're just collecting information for the next trip to the moon. So this is just like a flyby, but they're preparing to go back to the moon. I don't know what for.
I wonder when.
Yeah, I think soonish. But I don't have a lot of information here.
This is a really stupid question, but would that be the second time we've gone back? Like, have we been back since the initial man on the moon? thing?
I feel like I should know this, and I don't.
None of us
I
know
even
this.
watched Apollo 13 last night, and I feel like I should know this.
I feel like we haven't been back, right?
Subtly Googling here on the side.
Google's furiously. I have no idea, but
Because I feel
maybe
like that's what fuels the whole, like, the moon landing was fake. Because we haven't gone back since, right? Isn't that where that whole thing comes from?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
Definitely heard a lot
I guess
about
that
that.
wasn't a stupid question because none of you knew it either.
okay, what else is going on in the world? Okay, let's go back to the living in a city thing, just because we're talking about outer
Well,
space.
you had someone who tweeted.
Yes,
responded
so
to
we
your
had a
tweet.
listener ask the question, what's it like working and living in a really small town versus working and living in a city? So both of you live in cities,
Yes.
and I think that I have a lot of jealousy about that because there's so many things going on all the time. So you're in Austin, you're here in Chicago where we're recording this. There's just so much to do. Do you feel like you take advantage of it, though, is my question? Or do you just kind of like get in your routine and kind of like
When you say
hunker
so
down?
much to do, like what comes to mind?
Like there's meetups you could go to, or there's like cultural events happening. Whereas in my town, it's like the county fair and like
I think for me,
that's it.
my version of taking advantage of it is I really try to take advantage of working remotely in a bigger city because there's so many places to go, like enjoy your day while
That's true.
while you work. I don't really do the meetups. And
Did you? Was there a time though when you did?
I have been to them. It's just not. I just hate networking. So it's never my idea of fun, and I'm always like, why did I do this? So I don't really do that anymore. And then all the cultural events and stuff. Yes, there's so much to do, but it's always like such a pain in the ass to do it because it's like the parking and the crowds and everything that comes with living in a big city. So I do some of that stuff, but otherwise,
Not so much.
just kind of sticking to my routine, I feel like. Do you feel like you...
Yeah, I think more so lately.
Yeah.
Because like, especially COVID and then right after, I just felt so isolated. Like I think I'm actually becoming more extroverted as I get older, which I feel like is pretty
Interesting.
unique, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's because I don't spend time around the wrong people anymore. Like I'm very scrutinizing about who I'm around and how they make me feel. So obviously like you all, a lot of my friends, like those people give me energy. Like I want to go do things with them. Meetups, sometimes. I actually planned one a couple months ago, like myself, and I made sure it was exactly what I would have wanted to do.
yeah.
And that way it was fun.
So what was it? What did you
We
guys
just
do?
went and got margaritas. And
Who were the
That's
people?
amazing.
Like who were the...
some of our clients, and then like friends of mine who are like some folks that were at G2, like some local like content marketers or like
Nice.
just digital marketers. And we high level talked about work, but we didn't talk about like what are you doing tomorrow or like what are you currently struggling with,
Yeah.
like, and we didn't talk about like I didn't try to sell them either because that's where it feels like icky.
Yes.
I just was like, cool, we all have this like we speak this shared language of what we do every day, which is mostly behind a computer, and knowing we have that in common, like now we can talk about other things.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of my friends, nurses, teachers, like we just don't have a lot of those fundamentals in common, so it's sometimes hard to like, I don't know, connect on stuff. But yeah, I mean, we go to a lot of festivals and like, especially in the summer, like I think in Chicago.
Yeah. Depends on the
specifically,
weather.
Yeah. Like people, like we've been so busy and like, it's been so fulfilling. I'm very tired. So I'm looking forward to like the slower pace of winter, but yeah, I do feel like I take advantage of a lot,
That's good.
but
That's good.
we do like a lot of public transportation and stuff. So it isn't always like
Yeah.
a parking thing.
Yeah, see, Austin just doesn't have that.
Yeah. Austin, I feel like is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Where it's like
It's
obviously
definitely
big and cultural,
in
but
transition.
it's not.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have more of that?
I think there are plans,
As it grows.
but we'll see. But I feel like I am often jealous of people like you who live in smaller places because everything is just so like chill. Like, yeah, there may not be a million things going on or like a million places to go, but it's like you still have like restaurants and coffee shops, and you don't also have the crazy crowds or
Yeah.
the parking. Like
That's
I feel
true.
like must be so nice.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
It's very convenient. So it does have the
Yeah.
convenience factor. Like it's easy to go get groceries. Like I can just drive and quickly pop in and get it and come back home. Like it's easy. I think that one of the perks is like there's so much space, right? So sometimes when I go to New York or Chicago or wherever, I feel like it sucks a lot of energy out of me just being around because it's so overstimulating. Like there's so much to look at and smell and see, and that feels very overwhelming to me. But in a small town, you have a lot of space and there's just a lot less going on. I think the downside is that, like you said, in the winter especially, and maybe this is true no matter where you live, but I think that it's just hard to feel that sense of connection, especially when you work online. I know we're not supposed to talk about work, but we all work online and it's just part of it. And I'm 10 years in now and I just get so tired of being at home by myself all the time. Because it's very efficient, and it's to the point now where I'm not spending a lot of every workday doing work stuff. So I have the free time, but I don't necessarily have like a networking event that I could go to with that free time, or it's just kind of like more time for me to fill, which sometimes feels terrifying, especially when I am not busy like with a creative project or something else. It just kind of feels like, oh, you have these hours to fill during the day. So pros and cons. I think it's...
Yeah.
And it's nice to do stuff like this where you like visit a city or you go somewhere else or you pop in for a little bit and pretend to be a city person. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice to do.
You should host the next one of these in your town, and we can come be small town folks.
You should. It would be fun. Don't come in the winter though. It's awful.
Okay. Noted.
The winter is awful. Everything is dead. It's depressing. Don't do it. Right now though, oh, it's beautiful. There's cornfields everywhere. Cows for days. If anyone would like to smell some cornfields.
I thought you were going to say smell some cows. Great.
Don't smell the cows. Cows are not great.
Oh my gosh.
So do you ever do like coffee shops or libraries where you like go to be around people but like alone around people?
So I feel like I do yoga classes at the end of the day, like for the exercise to, again, get out of the chair, go do something, like put a hard stop to the workday. I'm not great at the coffee shop thing because it's very loud and there's like a lot of smells. It's like not well ventilated and they cook bacon in there and it's gross.
Are you speaking of one specific place?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Every coffee shop cooks bacon. I was like, what are you talking about?
You shamed us. No, the coffee and the food is great, but I just don't like hanging out there because it's loud and it smells weird. I don't like it. I like a lot of control over the environment, so...
That is my ideal place to work, I think.
Really?
Where I'm surrounded by like other people, energy, but I can still be in my own world.
That's nice, yeah.
Because when I'm at home for too long, it's hard for me to focus. I don't know. I get a little stir crazy if I try to work from home.
I remember on Twitter during COVID or like right after, there were a lot of folks talking about how they were moving away from cities.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, like we had a lot of friends who moved out of Chicago to either be able to afford a house and or have more space after being cooped up for, a year and a half. And I think you chimed into a lot of those conversations, didn't you? Like folks asking you, like, what's it like? What do you recommend? Like, what are the pros and cons? Have you still been getting questions like that?
Not as much, but I think the biggest conversation now, I think it's kind of shifted to like, oh my gosh, it's so affordable to live in a small town. Like, should I do it? What are the trade-offs? And I think the trade-offs are pretty significant. Like in a small town, I mean, even just saying that phrase probably drums up some thoughts for people with the popular song right now. But it's hard to make a blanket statement though and be like, it's like this everywhere, you know? It could just be you have a small town and the people are wonderful. I think it just depends on where you are. It is super affordable though. The thing I will say is that I live in the middle of Illinois, so I'm like 4 hours from Chicago, an hour and a half from St. Louis. So it takes some travel time to get anywhere with a lot of population density and like a lot of things going on, but it's not terrible. So it's kind of...
Where do you fly out of when you travel?
St. Louis usually, just because it's so much closer. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pros and cons, just like anything else. So let's talk about next. What are you reading or watching? Like, what are you consuming content-wise right now?
I just finished a really fun show called Hijack. and it's with I think
Idris?
it's Apple TV. Yeah.
Okay.
Idris Elba. And it's about a plane that gets hijacked. And I don't usually like those kind of shows, like the thriller TV shows, but it was very
Did you say
fun.
it was a fun show?
It just was like fun to watch,
okay.
not like happy fun, but it was just
Exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting, very entertaining. Yeah, I really like that one a lot. What else? I feel like that's the only thing I've been watching right now.
That's
and
the standout.
the new Housewives. I have never gotten into the Housewives, but they just started a new New York Housewives of New York with a new cast. So I'm giving it a chance because I am a Bravo girl, and I like it so far.
That's good.
So we'll see. I'll keep y'all updated.
Yes.
I know you'll be on the edges.
Yes, just waiting for those updates.
What about y'all?
Oh man, I haven't been watching a lot of TV lately.
What are you
Or
reading?
reading?
Yeah.
I've been reading, the books that I read.
Yeah, here we go.
Did you guys ever read Jennifer Armentrout's series of Blood and Ash?
No.
No.
It was like
I've seen that
highly
everywhere, though.
recommended series if you like ACOTAR. Just got her most recent book in the mail. I don't typically. Are you guys like paperback or hardback? Or are you Kindle
I'm not a Kindle girl.
I like
anymore.
a physical copy.
or audio?
Or audio, yeah.
Is that the same with you?
Mostly just physical copies.
Physical.
Yeah,
Okay. So you buy every book that you want to read.
pretty much.
I typically buy the physical books if I know I'll reread it. And then if it's like a one-off, I'll just get Kindle. But I've been buying all her books.
So when you reread, are you looking for things on the reread? Are you like looking for things that you missed? Or is it just like a comfort, like I really like the story, I want to revisit it?
I actually forget about a lot of what I read.
I do too.
Yeah, like,
it doesn't
there's
stick.
a couple stories like the Emerson essay that I read I do that on intentionally because it's a reminder of things that like stick with me, or I'm like I need to get my head on straight. But usually with fiction, after about a year or so, I'll remember the sensation. Like I remember how it made me feel. So I'm like, sure, I want to go back there and like experience that. But I don't always remember all the details enough to look for something new.
Got it.
But especially with these series that are still being released, like if like she just released her new book, I already had pre-ordered it. I'll probably reread the whole series because it's been like a year and a half.
Okay.
So I'm like, just so it's like a fresh experience versus picking up like the next book and I'm like, wait, what happened before? Like,
Right.
what was, especially because it's fantasy, so there's like a whole world building element to it. I'm like, I forgot the rules of these books.
Yes, you got to remember.
So that one I'm probably reading soon. But otherwise, like how I told you guys that we started Love Island US.
Yes.
It sucks.
Oh,
Really?
I don't know if I just got so used to the UK ones, but like we started it and I was like, I don't like any of these people. Like, I
So it's the
don't know.
personalities.
I think it's just like, because that's the whole point. Like you want to connect, like I feel like with reality TV, right?
Okay.
Like you want to connect with the people.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I finished Real World New Orleans. We talked about this before.
Which you loved.
I loved it so much. The conversations, the people, so engaging. Held up so well 20 years later. I moved on now to the next season that was available, which was Las Vegas. And that is 2003, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And it's terrible. And it's the same thing. It's because I don't like any of the people, the characters, and there's no substance. They're all just like, let's get drunk and sleep with each other. And I'm like, this is not a show. This is not a season of a show. Every episode was the same. So I gave up after 4 episodes. I'm out.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to another season?
I don't know. I'm going to need the listeners to tell me if there's another season that I should be looking for because
Are there like
Okay,
a lot
we'll
of them?
ask.
there's so many.
Real World?
There's 20
Yeah.
something. There's
It
so many.
started, I think, in the early 90s and then
Yes.
just...
I mean, the original episodes, the people look like they're on Seinfeld. Like, we're talking big bangs,
Yeah.
shoulder pads.
pretty great.
It's hilarious. It's so funny. It looks like 1985.
capsule.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's pre-internet too, so it's so precious because you're just like, oh, these little people, they don't know anything about each other. Like they haven't done any sleuthing or anything. It's so pure. But yeah, Las Vegas just wasn't it.
When does The Golden Bachelor come out?
Next month, I think, September.
Oh, this should be a whole segment for us.
Oh, I also need to make a correction.
Oh, fact check.
Fact check. I made a joke that his name was Jerry, as in geriatric, but it's actually Gary. So
Oh my gosh.
That was
That's
so
like
brave.
a classic Parks and Rec
my
flub.
joke didn't
That was so brave.
make sense.
Oh,
Thank you.
round of applause
Thank
for
you.
that.
Some eye attraction. She
Yeah,
did the same thing.
that was really hard. I didn't want to say that.
Big if true. Yeah, big if true. Okay, so I just finished watching Cruel Summer. I don't know if you guys like young adult garbage TV.
Bring
but
it
it's
on.
by
If I'm-
Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Just excellent producer. She
Really?
really knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
I also watched The Sinner that she did.
That's really good.
So good.
Yeah.
That woman knows what she's doing.
Yep.
Is Cruel Summer based on books?
It might be.
gotta be, if
It's
it's
a
YA.
series. So I've seen I think there's been maybe two previous, maybe I know one for sure. But it's usually about like teenagers and somebody's died and you have to figure out what happened. And it's so good.
Interesting.
It's really good stuff.
So you're on season 1 or 2? How many seasons are there?
I think it's season 2.
Okay.
It's whatever most recently came out is what I
Okay,
just watched.
gotcha.
But it was very good.
Okay,
It's
I'll
a
have
fun
to-
time.
I need a new watch. I'll have to pick
It's
that.
a fun one.
What about other stuff that we're loving? I just got a Kindle.
Oh,
for
so
the
your
first
Kindle's
time
new.
ever. I used to
What do you
read on my
think?
phone. I really like it.
Yeah?
Because like what would happen is I would open the Kindle app on my phone and then I'd be like subject to like all the texts and emails and Slacks.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like when I hold a physical book, I'm detaching completely from reality. And when I was reading on my Kindle app, it like wasn't the same experience.
Yeah.
So now that I have like basically another portal that's not connected to the rest of the world, it's giving me the same vibes. So I really like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allie, you keep talking with your hands, and I am noticing your beautiful nails. We've talked about your hands before, your hand model hands. You have hand model hands. This stirs up another question for me that I want to know. So, what is like a simple luxury? I'm
Okay.
guessing nails is one of them
Oh,
for
yeah.
you, but like, what is your like simple luxury that you do for yourself?
Ooh, that's a good
Either
question.
say
That just that just came up.
or like facials, like
Nice,
face, like microneedling or those
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
things.
nice. Those are good ones.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
Mine is probably I let myself have like nice coffee and nice food and stuff, like nice restaurants and stuff whenever.
That's such a treat.
Because I feel like
That's
I don't
so nice.
spend a lot of money on clothes or other things like that. Like I mostly just shop at Target. So like, I don't know. I feel like, food and drinks and stuff, that's where I like to kind of dial it up a
also
little.
hotels.
Ooh,
I love a nice hotel
You love
room.
nice hotels.
Yeah.
You would have loved the inn that we stayed at in Canada.
What was
had
it
a heated
like?
bathroom floor,
Oh,
which is like
Ooh,
rare.
that's next
like that's like
level.
yes. It
Wow.
was so nice. And the breakfast, the complimentary breakfast was like a 4-course
oh my goodness.
breakfast. It was incredible.
Wow.
But like, and it wasn't cheap, but it was like so worth it.
Yeah.
Especially when you travel, you're like already like out of your element, and you're like, for me, I get anxious when I'm like just not in my element, I guess you could say. And it was so nice. Just it's there. It's
Yes.
like comfortable.
Yeah.
You're gonna sleep well. The water's gonna be hot. Good water pressure. Like just the basics. It's just like
Yes.
that's not always guaranteed when you travel.
No,
I
it's
feel
not.
like my new level of like, I want this hotel room is like, doesn't have a bathtub. I'm like always looking for a bathtub now.
100%.
Do hotels not usually have bathtubs?
Some only have showers.
No, and I mean like a
shower stall.
nice bathtub. We're not talking like the bathtub that's in the shower. We're talking like its own thing.
Yeah.
We can like have a nice soak.
Look at you.
That was exactly.
That's the new bar.
That was my bar for booking the hotel for this trip. I was like, is the bathtub
I need
nice?
a bathtub.
Yes.
Yeah.
nice. Okay. So do you take a bath every time you travel?
For them, yeah. If I have a tub, yeah, I love a good bath. I feel like it's because I'm a terrible sleeper. It helps me sleep, so it's all for a good cause. I feel like maybe last year I got carried away. Maybe 2 years ago with the luxuries. I feel like I really went so hard into the luxury because I had a really good year for my business, and I was like, I deserve it. But I'm telling you, like I was getting a massage like twice a month. Like going to the nice hotels. Treat yourself like every day. Getting my nails done, getting my hair done all the time, just buying whatever I wanted. And I feel like what was so interesting is the novelty of it wore off so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It stopped being special.
Yeah.
And so now that I do it less frequently, I appreciate it more. But I feel like it's kind of a duh thing, but
Not necessarily, because
You don't know until you try.
Because I feel like that's a goal for some people.
Right.
Like, I want to do that whenever I want to, as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. And then you do it and you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, that's not as cool
Not
anymore.
as fun. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the magic wore off a little bit. So I had to tone it back.
So what are your simple luxuries now?
So I do like to have a massage like once a month. I don't feel like I've been doing that this year, but that would be ideal. I get my nails done. I do like getting a coffee drink. I feel like that's a treat.
Yeah.
I worked at a coffee shop when I was in college, and every time somebody would come in and get 2 drinks, I was always just like, oh my God, that is
2?
luxury. So you can get like a coffee and a tea. So like a hot coffee and an iced tea to go. That is such a baller move to me. And I have always wanted that for myself.
Double fisting.
I feel like you can make that. I feel like that's achievable now for you.
It is. I still really struggle with it though. I have like such a mental hang up about it.
That's so interesting.
So dumb, but yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Do we want to do lightning round questions here? Or do we want to wrap it up?
Let's do a couple of lightning rounds.
Okay, let's do a couple.
One or two.
Okay, so I feel like we just did one. Okay. What should our next one be? Somebody throw one out.
What are your biggest pet peeves?
Oh God,
Let's do that. A classic.
Let's get heated.
so many, so many.
Who wants to go first?
Slow walkers.
Okay.
/ people that take up the whole sidewalk walking area.
Yeah.
What do you do? Are you like behind? Do you like give them the kitchen cue? Yes.
Oh my God.
It depends. Like at the airport, I'm ruder because I'm like, this is a temporary experience. Like, why are we taking our time in this space?
Yeah.
Like, get in and get out. We had to run through the airport in Montreal last week, and
not
I
fun.
literally shoulder checked 2 people.
Oh,
So I was like
snap.
about to miss my flight, and they weren't like little old ladies. It was like big men. I was
Okay.
like, get out of the way.
They deserved
They're
it.
like walking, they were standing still in that like moving walkway kind of thing.
Which is meant for speed.
Yes.
I mean,
rules,
exactly.
people. There's rules.
stand on the
So in
side.
the airport, I don't really care, but like, I don't know, out here on the sidewalk and stuff, I usually will like cross the street, or I'll just like wait until there's a place to like go around them. But like in my mind, I'm like, get out of the way.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Are you, oh my God, there was a tweet that I saw that was like making fun of this, where like, if somebody's walking faster than you, you're like, where does this asshole think he's going? That's so important. You like get annoyed, but then if somebody's walking slower than you, then they're also an asshole because they're not walking fast
no
enough.
winning.
I don't usually
Like, are
think
you-
that about the
okay.
fast ones.
Okay.
I do have that sensation when I'm driving though. Like when I'm driving and like someone's going faster, I'm like, enjoy the ticket, asshole. And then if someone's going slower, I'm like, get out of the way. So like I set the bar. It's my standard on the highway.
That's right.
Classic.
That's right. Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
What about you all?
I always say I have a little bit of road rage, but I think it's more like road impatience. Like there are just certain things that people do that drive me insane when I'm driving. Mostly like when you are at a red light and you're about to turn, like left turn, red light.
Okay.
And it turns green and the person behind you immediately starts honking their horn. I can't handle it. It drives me
So do you
insane.
go slower on purpose?
No, I don't. But I do say a lot of cuss words in my head to that person because it just is like, come on, don't be an asshole. The light just turned green. My brain hasn't even had time to signal to my foot to hit the pedal.
Is this happening on your morning drives?
Yeah, of course. I drive so much now on my morning drive. So yes, this happens. But it's not my fault. I know y'all are probably thinking like, oh, you're just not paying attention and you're not turning. But I swear to God.
Maybe
people
you're
are
in
just
your
like-
own little world. Do you ever think about that? Because I'm the person behind you that's honking. Like, let's go.
Okay, Kaleigh's making it personal.
Let's go. I got places to be.
it's
No,
like,
I don't.
It's if I'm being slow or if I'm in my own little world, okay, fine. That's a fair thing to do. But if I haven't even had time to go, don't be honking at me and rushing me. Okay. And then my other one.
Oh, multiples.
I'm rolling out a scroll.
Okay.
My other big one is when you're talking to somebody and they just are constantly interrupting you and like won't let you finish. Hey. But my wife and I like fake fight about this a lot because
Fake fight.
because it's in jest. I don't actually get mad at her, but she just cannot help herself. Like, she just has to interject and just can't wait for me to finish a thought.
Is it because she's in a hurry, or
She just like, she can't wait to like.
Is she like finishing your sentences, or is she
Sometimes-
interrupting you in a fight?
Sometimes she's not in a fight. If she interrupts me in a
Because
fight.
Austin interrupts me in fights all the time. Oh, man.
oh, then it's over.
No, nothing would make me hit the roof faster. It's mostly like she's a huge extrovert. She's an amazing conversationalist. But one of her ideas of being a good conversationalist is like being engaged, like as you're talking.
Okay.
So she's a big sentence finisher. And there are a lot of people like that. And I'm just like, you would know what I'm going to say if you just let me finish the sentence.
Shots fired.
Anyway,
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
So interrupters.
Got it. I'm trying to think what mine is. I feel like everything is annoying to me. There's truly nothing that's off.
Kaleigh has a scroll too.
Yeah, I have like a scroll that just never ends. It's just infinite. I'm trying to think. Okay, so this one's top of mind because on the train on the way up here, it's when people bring something really, really smelly to eat in an enclosed travel vicinity. Like if you're on a train or you're on an airplane or you're on a bus and there's other people around, like don't bring a sandwich that looks like you're eating cat shit. Like that's disgusting. I saw a man on the train who literally looked like he was eating a cat shit sandwich. It was disgusting. It was so disgusting. And like hats off to you for planning ahead. You had your lunch with you, but like choose something less smelly. It just is like so gross.
And rude.
Yes, and or onions or garlic. Like don't bring the most fragrant food you could ever think of.
Yeah.
Again, back to The Office. It's like when Oscar brings egg salad on the airplane. Don't do that.
Yeah. No.
Don't do that. That's
I feel like
gross.
there's a whole
Or eat it before you
unspoken-
get on.
Yeah, like that's why I think when you travel, we're all experiencing it together. Like we're all in this
Truly.
together. Like,
Truly.
stay to the right, eat your food before you get on the plane.
These are simple
Pay
requests.
attention to where you are. Like
It's
just
not asking much.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Because what I'm seeing is when people like don't engage when they're traveling, I'm like, do you want to live here in this airport? Because like you're certainly taking your time.
You're taking so much time.
I want to get out of here as soon as I can. Can we all work together to make that
Yes,
happen?
let's make it happen.
Did you see that article that these people were stuck on a United flight, like on at the gate for 7 hours?
That is my nightmare.
Austin texted it to me and he was like, I would be arrested for killing everyone on this plane.
What happened?
sure.
What was going on?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I think it was
Oh,
one of
that's
those, like,
awful.
I didn't click into it, but I would suspect it was probably like a security issue, or you know how they do that, or like you can't get off or you can't get on
Yes.
or whatever. It's like once you board it or whatever.
It's like a holding pattern.
Have jurisdiction over me as a person. I'm on your plane. Like,
That is another one of my pet peeves is waiting in line. I hate. That's probably why I'm so jumpy at the line. And when I'm driving my car, you know, I'm like, I got to get going. I don't like
Any
waiting
line,
around.
anywhere.
Oh my God.
I hate those moments of like holding, like Six Flags. I'm getting that speed pass. I'm not waiting in the long line. I'm
you
not
had
doing that.
example.
Yeah.
I
Just queued
don't.
up.
I know.
I don't want to do
Not
that.
the line at the coffee shop. Six Flags.
Six Flags.
Six Flags, Universal Studios, doesn't matter what it is. If I'm getting on a coaster, I want to be number 3 or I'm out. 3 is like the max.
Oh,
Like
okay.
third person in line, that's it. That is an upgrade that has to happen. Another one would be like boarding a plane. I don't like waiting around to board a plane. So I'm usually like the first person on the plane just because I'm like, oh, I just want to sit down. I don't want to do the waiting thing. I have to get better at this though, because I feel like that is such a good practice of like being a human, is like being able to tolerate those holding patterns, because that is so much of life.
It's hard though.
I'm really working on it. I'm not
Do you
doing
think
very
that
good.
you're less patient because you live in a smaller city? Or smaller
Probably.
town?
I'm so
that's a
used to
good
everything
point.
being super
Yeah.
Yeah.
convenient and snappy, and I don't have to wait around a lot. So when I do, it's just like, oh,
Yeah. That's a good point.
yeah.
All right. I have one more
Okay.
Yes.
lightning round question.
I'm so scared.
The best advice you've ever been given?
Oh,
I knew it was going to be hard.
Krista, you have to go first.
No. Oh my God.
Did you think of something?
No.
Do you have it?
No, I don't.
Do you want me to finish it for
I
you?
think the best advice you've ever been given.
Kaleigh, why don't you tell me what the best advice I've
Go
ever
really fast at a green light.
Yes, go fast. Don't stand in lines.
Great.
That's
Go
my best.
fast and don't stand in lines. Best advice I've been given.
Great. I don't even know if this is advice, but I saw recently on a headstone somebody put "don't try," and I feel like as a person who tries so hard all the time, that's really good advice, because when you try, you just kind of get in your own way and you overcomplicate and you overthink. And I would love to live by that. I don't know if it's practical, but seems like good advice. So that's the one that jumps out to me right now. I don't know.
Okay, I like that.
I like that. Nice and simple.
What about you?
Mine's probably the fact that nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody knows.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't even know if that, like, it's probably one of those things that I was told, you know, ever since you were pretty young, but you know, when something like clicks for you and you're like, I get it now. Like, I don't think that happened for me until like 4 or 5 years ago, and a lot in the last couple of years, especially with my role at Omniscient, because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, like probably 75% of the time. And that's okay.
It's okay. Everybody
I like
else
that
feels
one.
the same.
Yeah.
That did remind me of an actual piece of advice.
Oh, thank
Not
God.
just what Kaleigh told me to say.
Great.
Like, don't care so much about what other people think, because everybody's just like thinking about themselves anyway. Like, not as many people are paying attention to you and what you're doing, like as you think they
I
are.
think that one's settled in for me yet.
Yeah,
I've like
it's
heard it, but I
very
haven't like heard
hard.
it.
Yeah, because we're all the main character in our own little narratives
Yeah,
we
totally.
write for ourselves.
It does help, though. I think specifically with like, I used to be very in my head about what I post online, just because like, I feel like in what we do in marketing and stuff, there's this weird expectation that like you should only be posting about that, and like you should be
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, and that's just not me. And so I
Yeah.
used to be very in my head about that. So I do think it has helped a little bit in that, to where I feel like I can be a little bit more just myself.
You guys have like pretty successfully blended, I think, your online presences. I haven't. Mine is like very siloed. And I think
Really?
like doing this will help me just
Yeah.
because it's been like, I really feel like there's like work me and like personal me. And that's not sustainable.
Right.
Right?
I saw a meme the other day that was like, work me and regular me are two different people. They don't even look the same. I think it was a version of that or something.
Yeah.
But it's so true.
Yeah,
They're like
100%
totally
me.
different animals.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even last week in Canada, all my friends were like, I listened to your podcast. And I loved it. And I was like, why? Because to me, it's like, that's the work bucket, which is
Yeah.
funny because we don't even talk about work,
Right.
but like, it's like digital, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it was so cool. And I was like, oh, I can talk about that. Like,
We're doing
I feel
it.
stupid, but like, yeah.
Yes. I have
don't
that
wanna
problem too,
care.
where I think that I never want to talk about work because I feel like it's so boring. Like no one truly wants to hear about this. Like no one wants to hear me talk about marketing because I don't want to hear me talk about marketing. So I definitely don't want to explain what I do to somebody else. And I still am not good at explaining what I do.
But I feel like what we do, because it's at home and because it's on the computer, it's like it's already so close to our personal lives, like
Yeah.
both like physically, like proximity wise, and also just like mentally, because we all love what we do, or you know, elements of it. So I want to talk more about like like how work like affects our lives and our like
Yeah.
kind of navigating like our careers and stuff. I don't want to talk about like fucking SEO and stuff, but like I definitely
Not tactical.
Yeah.
No, more like tangential.
And I think that's okay. I don't think that'll get you work
You guys
jar.
gonna kick me off.
Yeah.
You did say marketing though.
You said,
I
did I?
You said it.
Spider-Man me.
We all owe $5.
I think I have like $30 in there. I need to.
Yeah, you
We
gotta
need to
pay
pick
up.
We
Pay
need
up,
to pick our
bitch.
first. We need to pick our first charity.
That's yeah. You gotta give that money away to a good cause.
Yes.
Since we're pieces of shit. Well, that seems like a good place to end.
Yes.
Cheers.
To being pieces of shit.
To being pieces of
Yay.
shit. We did it, gang.